performed so far in the '97 edition of the Open?
Well, you're looking at one of the greatest players of all time playing at the top of his game. A couple of months ago at Wimbledon, the best I've ever seen Pete Sampras. This is a guy who served 70% first serves for the tournament. With the serve that big, he hits it awful hard. He has all the shots. He's improved his fitness. He's fitter than he was a year ago when he struggled against Correia, but still won the tournament. And he's also quicker than I've ever seen him. This guy is up there with Rod Laver right now. He's looking to make even a bigger name in the record books. It's unbelievable how good he is, to be blunt, right now.
You know, he's trying to three-peat here, and the first player of the Open era to win 3 straight Opens was John McEnroe. How hard is that to achieve?
Well, obviously not that hard. But, you know, this guy's already won it 4 times. He's head and shoulders above everyone else right now. And so it's going to be a challenge for anyone. But Alex Radulescu, actually, as Mary will tell you, played a fantastic match against Pete right after the Open last year and had him down. He lost 7-5 in the third, but this guy can play.
Yeah, he could serve. I mean, and that's what you need. I mean, with Pete Sampras, you have to take care of your own serving games. This guy's got one of the bigger serves around. Can he serve well enough for 3 sets to beat the #1 player in the world and #1 seed? I don't think so. You need more than great serving to beat Pete Sampras. He's proven that time and again. It's taken him a while just to get into this round, as you can see, mixing it up with Oleg Ogorodov in the first round and then beating Richard Fromberg. I mean, that took a little bit out of him. He changed his shirt a couple times in that one.
Well, he took the first set from Sampras the first time they ever played, but Sampras went on to beat him that time and another. But it's a 3rd round matchup today, and they're about to get started. We'll be right back. At Ash Stadium, but meanwhile out on Philippoussis against Daniel Vacek. With the winner playing Rosetsky, and they've just started now. Pete Sampras serving 40 love.
Yeah, they started about 20 seconds ago, and yeah, it's 40 love already.
So a quick game to Sampras, and CBS Sports coverage will continue after this message and a word from your local station. Radulescu serving, love 15. Pete's first 2 wins at this Open were against players ranked outside of the top 200. Radulescu currently ranked 81st in the world.
That wasn't Pete's fault. He could have dealt with better competition. There's a point for Radulescu. A good solid backhand volley.
He's actually in the past drawn pretty difficult draws this year.
A rare breath of fresh air for Sampras early in the event. Serve volley. Good technique on that volley. Needs to get in a little closer, though. Remember, Radulescu got to the quarters of Wimbledon last year. He had match point on Mal Washington. So this guy knows how to play on fast courts. And Mary, you got to feel bad for Mal Washington, though. Here's a guy who got to the finals of Wimbledon, had a losing record going into Wimbledon last year. Hasn't even been able to play because of knee surgery. Todd Martin, another semifinal, said just coming back here. There's the break.
Oh, man. That doesn't bode well for Radulescu, me, at this stage. Radulescu was a qualifier at last year's Wimbledon. That was his first ever major. A quarterfinal run, and he did something I'd never seen in that stage of such a big event. At 4-all in the 5th set against Mal Washington, Mal hit a smash that was called out. He overruled it against himself.
15. I saw John do that a few times.
Well, as a matter of fact, I did do that.
That's right.
And Mary know all too well.
I can verify that.
Practice match?
That was at the French Open, or we're the mixed Open champs. Come on. French Open mixed 20 years ago. Bill Dent taught me professionals lessons, said play the calls, don't give the calls away. And the rest is history.
Radulescu is 22. Born in Romania, but resides in Germany.
Yet to reach 500. Maybe with the, I don't know if that includes the 2 wins here at the Open. That's not going to scare Sampras a whole lot. That will.
Yeah.
30-15.
Finally, the Mac Cam has come into play. We've been waiting all week for this. You cannot hit a backhand any better than Alex Radulescu just did on that pass. So we asked Bob Monsbach, our producer, if he could just lend it to little guys at USA.
Named after you because you're paying for it, so I mean I think you could take
Darn
care
right.
of that.
The salary I get from CBS, come on.
Covers the cost, doesn't it? Another easy service game for Sampras.
Sampras
Radulescu, the first point of the 4th game. Sampras 3-love first set.
13.
At 120 miles an hour.
Well, there's that big serve Mary was talking about.
Not Radulescu range.
No, not that range, but big nonetheless.
He's a real rhythm server. You watch, when Radulescu gets into a good rhythm, his aces can really come in clusters.
Well, unfortunately, he was tight when he came out here and immediately got broken. That's not the hope at the start he was envisioning.
Settles down in that game.
Sampras leads.
Love game.
He's got that nice easy motion. Didn't go for a lot there, just placed it well. And you mentioned, which is true, Radulescu, a guy who mixes up the pace of his serve, the spins. And that way, that power serve seems like it's coming 200 miles an hour when it comes at you. Radulescu did a good job that game. I still think this guy out here, though, has got the best, or I should say the toughest serve to break in tennis.
Well, look at this percentage. If you include Wimbledon, this is like 97.2% of his service.
Was that a setup? Or that was quick.
Is that what you're talking about?
He did lose his serve twice at Wimbledon. I mean, you know, he's not playing that well. Once in the first round, once in the finals. Pete knows how to hit the big bomb, too. Fortunately for Radulescu, that was a leg. But that's the same serve with the same result.
It's a pity that Sampras has never brought this kind of serving to his efforts at the French Open. Because that's what he's really going to need if he ever gets to win that one major he has not yet won. Then he would put himself in some amazing company. Not one male tennis player since Rod Laver has captured all 4 majors.
Well, he's in amazing company, but we'll put him with the Rocket at the top. The problem is, Mary, when you play on clay, the balls get heavier because the dirt starts to attach itself to those fuzzy little thing they call a ball, and this ball is a lot lighter here. Court's faster. The balls sometimes have a tendency to get smaller, so they're like little BBs. Sometimes they'll fluff up. They play a lot of backcourt points, but it's tough to serve as big there. See, he doesn't need to serve as hard, because if he places it as well and just decides I'm going to be serve volley player on the clay, he could do it.
Oh, man.
That was impressive. 4 games for Sampras, 4-1 for second. Perillo, Ash Stadium. Sampras already up a break. And a slight distraction for Radulescu in mid-toss. Sound of a horn.
15.
first met a year ago, Radulescu took the first set. First match ever against Sampras, 7-5. Pete came back to win in the third set, 7-5 to close him out. Then earlier this year in San Jose, Sampras prevailed again, but it wasn't easy. It was 7-6, 6-3.
That first meeting a year ago in Basel was the first match Pete played after winning this Open, so a bit of a letdown. He wasn't exactly as pumped as he was at the Open, but he pulled it out and went on to win the tournament. Once he got going, it's all right. And like a lot of the top players, Pete particularly likes to play his best at the big majors. A guy like Lendl talked about that openly, that he only cared about the majors. Pete sort of speaks in those terms, so that's probably why those matches are as close as they were.
Third ace. Close out that game, 4-2 Sampras.
The other reason being, and a lot of guys, we see Peter Quarter now up 2-1. Jeff Tarango rallying to even things up in the first set. Even the journeymen on the men's tour serve big. So they're capable of the upset more easily than on the women's side.
15.
Pete utilizes that serve into the body, which he did there. Combining that with the angle out wide, big one up the middle, almost impossible to break.
Following tennis, you can jump over to CBS Sports Line, easy and fast.
Radulescu is simply tight, hasn't gotten a feel for the court, is just being overwhelmed at the moment. Sampras cruising along up a break, 40 love at 4-2.
Another love game. Radulescu's only taken 1 point off of Sampras' serve.
And he's got this type of time. The result is a winner.
First point here to Radulescu. Some pretty nifty work at the net, John.
Excellent touch. That improves Sampras' movement, but Radulescu with a stretch winner. Radulescu's got to be thinking, if I had just held that first service game, I'd be right in the thick of things. Step 2-5 down. And that's why a guy like Sampras works for years to get that aura about him, so he can walk out in the court and get that quick early lead. Fortunately for Radulescu, it was up 40 love. Pulled up way too quick on that half eye. Need to stay down with that.
Radulescu.
5-3 Sampras. Game to Radulescu. Serving up some of the beautiful aerial views of the USTA National Tennis Center, the brand new Arthur Ashe Stadium, the Fujifilm blender.
These numbers from Sampras Sampras just continued to amaze. Just one unforced error. He's dropped just 1 point on serve. Over 70% serving.
And this is what Alex Radulescu should have done that last game. See how he stayed down nice and low, kept his eye on the ball to hit the racket. Beautifully done by Sampras there. 15 love. He's killing Radulescu up the middle. Can't see it at all. He's not picking it up.
Fourth ace for Pete. And John, because Pete moves it around the box, as you were saying, I mean, you don't even know where to defend when you're trying to return.
Well, the key is throwing the toss up the same place. And that's what Pete does. A lot of guys give it away. They toss it a little bit the other direction, and you see it coming.
Look at him. He's trying to, he's trying to sneak in a little bit to take it early, and he just got pounded. He's tried to go back. He's tried to cheat to one side. Look at these numbers. I mean, they can't be any help here. Those are Wimby numbers. That's what he was doing when he won his last major.
Radulescu serving at 70% and is about to lose the first set.
There it is. Sampras.
6-3. Sampras. First set. Thanks for
Pete Sampras or Alex Radulescu. That match is underway at the stadium. Let's go there with Jim Nance. Jim? Let's go back up to Jim Nance.
All right, thank you, Pat. Advantage Sampras here. Takes the game 1-all second set. Pete and Peter Korda. Well, that could be a possible matchup. Sampras advances here. They met in the round of 16 at Wimbledon this year, and it was a 5-setter with Sampras winning in the 5th, 6-4.
Well, not only do I want to see that match because it'll be a high-quality match, I want to see Korda bring back that scissor kick, celebratory kick he used when he won the 3rd and 4th set. I hope we have a replay of that because that is the celebration of the year, without a doubt.
Top 15.
Radulescu's got a very solid backhand. Better, I think, than his forehand. Good technique. Kept the pressure on Pete. Pete had a shot at that pass, but couldn't come up with the goods there. 15-all.
Sampras really bit into that backhand volley, had so much work on it that once it bounced, it was just almost impossible for Radulescu to play. Watch this. He knifes under this thing. It causes that odd little bounce.
We saw Alex about 10 feet behind the baseline, and that was the shot to hit there. You've got to do more of the volley. You're playing the #1 player in the world. That was not that good a return. Radulescu needs to do more. Just sat there for Sampras, and Sampras just ate that alive. 2 break points. He went after that serve. Hardest serve he's hit today, clocked at 129 miles per hour. 1 break point saved.
Sampras with the break. He leads 2-1, second set.
Outstanding.
A set and a break in the second now.
Love the team.
Good idea to try to change things up. Put some pressure on Sampras. Sampras has certainly dictated play so far. We better take advantage of every little chance he gets. He breaks a string. He's got plenty to spare. He brings 8 or 9 on the court. all are restrung before every match. Even the 4 or 5 that he won't use, he will restring before the match.
And now he's got some other players doing that too. And that's being extremely finicky.
You know how many sets of gut Jimmy went through last year? 800 sets of gut.
My father still got the same set of strings that he's had since he started playing the game, 1959.
He needs a little more work on the flexibility if he wants to hit the lotus position, Radulescu.
Radulescu wasn't going to waste any energy. Set down right on the court.
Well, that racket's going to be no different tension-wise. He brings 4 or 5 out, although he did tell me before the match he's brought a couple out that are a little bit tighter because he feels the ball's going to fly today, not much humidity.
Another well-placed serve. Pete has won 16 straight matches at the Open. Last loss is to Jaime Izaga. And that was in '94.
Another big bung. Jaime has since retired, sadly enough, for the tennis circuit. The excellent little player from Peru. I think he's living down in Lima.
He also beat Pete the first time he played at the Open, 10 years ago this year.
Not a whole lot of guys that can say that.
He owned him. He owned him. That's why he retired. He was bored. Pete had shin splints in that last match at the Open against Izaga. He was not fit, and that was always the knock against him.
Pika's also played a great match against Lendl, you remember, years back. This guy was a good little player. Pete Sampras, #1 all-time U.S. Open percentage. 90% of his matches he wins. He got away with one there. That's called winning the battle, but not the war. Radulescu should have put this ball away, mishit it, and here's the part about winning the battle. One heck of a get there, but he's well out of court by that time. 3-1 Sampras. Where's Boris Becker when you need him? Another one of Boris's Team Becker pupils, Alex Radulescu. You don't see Becker missing a whole lot of volleys up high like that, the backhand side.
But the Becker team is a very physical one, and Becker wants to stress to all the young players that first and foremost they have to be in shape. And Radulescu, though he is being outclassed today, have another look at backhand. That ball was good. He's surely a big, fit guy. So is Nicholas Kiefer. And the others on the team.
Too bad we're not seeing Nicholas Kiefer, a quarterfinalist at Wimbledon.
Very good and very cocky young German player. And Boris Becker has worked more with Kiefer than any of the others.
Models himself after Andre Agassi, so you watch him play. You know who he wanted to play like.
Tommy Haas of Germany, by the way, who's really been doing almost all of his training in the last several years with Nick Bollettieri. He's still alive.
That Rios match should be very interesting in the 3rd round coming up tomorrow. Marcelo Rios pulling out that 7-6 in the 5th.
Radulescu holds, but it's 3-2 Sampras. Take the second.
It's just so nice to have that serve as a weapon. Jerked up on that forehand the first point, so he just goes back, hits a couple bombs, quickly to 30-15. Some quick hands there in net. Radulescu unable to come up with that forehand pass. Now a point for 4-2 for Pete Sampras.
Never seems to be in danger of losing his serve.
He's so quick to jump on that approach. That was deep, just inside both lines. Radulescu did well with the pass just to get it back, but Pete had the wide open court. Easy put away for the #1 seed. Even Borg would make volleys like that when you hit the big approach. That's the key. Radulescu threw a double in to lose serve previous time, now throws in a double the first point of this game. Probably trying to hit harder now, starting to get frustrated out there. And that's a frustrating looking forehand. Didn't need to go for that much. He's starting to lose his edge. See how his first serve percentage is very good, but that's about the only good news. Not winning enough first serve points or second serve. Those are the type of stats you see when you're playing Pete Sampras.
Number 7 for Radulescu. But you just get the sense from Pete that he's like, all right, I'll give you your aces. Let's see what you do when I get it back. Well, once the ball is in play, you have to give the nod to Pete in such a big way. It's easier for him to transition from the baseline to the net. He's more solid off the baseline. He moves much better than Radulescu.
He just hit it right back to Pete, though. And he wasn't close enough to net by the time Pete hit the pass, so he had an easy angle winner there, really. That was not, even though it was tough for human beings, not that tough for Pete Sampras.
Well, Radulescu is really, the pace of his shots gets him in trouble with his footwork. He serves so big that he's often not close enough to the net to make his first volley any good. And when he tries to rip his ground strokes and get to the net, he's robbing himself of time for a good net position.
That's what so many of these players, Mary, do not understand. That you don't need to hit it hard. Matter of fact, you hurt yourself.
And that's what Stefan Edberg was so good at doing. Edberg did not have one of the bigger serves in men's tennis by any stretch of the imagination, but he bent the ball into the service box and got in so tight for the first volley. His serve gave him time to get to the net.
It's not real fair to compare the average Joe to Edberg, too, because he was the best in the last 10 years at doing that. I mean, fabulous transition from the baseline to net.
Radulescu showing some resiliency in that game, but Sampras still up a break and the set.
And now this tournament summary sponsored by Gateway 2000 Direct Personal Computers.
Well, tournament summary. So we've reached the first Saturday. 5 of the 8 96 semifinalists still in the tournament. That's men's and women's semis from a year ago. 5 of them in it. Hingis improved her record on the year to 59-2 with a straight set win today. And on this day in Open history, USTA National Tennis Center hosted its first full day 19 years ago today.
Hi, at Gateway.
Sampras serving in its 30 love in the 8th game of the second set. But let's quickly shuttle over to Stadium 2, where Tim Ryan and Tony Trabert have the action heating up.
Thank you, Jim. We've got Daniel Vacek serving at love 15 and 5-6 in the first set. They are on serve. There's been only one break point in this entire first set. Vacek held it briefly, couldn't convert. Mark Philippoussis, the number 14 seed from Australia. Daniel Vacek, a 26-year-old unseeded from Prague in the Czech Republic, divides his time between Monte Carlo and Bradenton, Florida. Not a bad division. .30-15, Daniel Vacek. He's been serving in the mid-120s. And Philippoussis. So Vacek got the set, winning the tiebreak over number 14 seed Mark Philippoussis. Let's go back to the Arthur Ashe Stadium. Jim Nance, Mary Carrillo, and John McEnroe.
Tim and Tony, 15 love. Sampras just off a 10th ace of the match. He's serving for the second set, now 30 love.
Triple set point. Good effort by Daniel Vacek. You know, Daniel Vacek had lost 7 rounds, first round in the Slam since getting to the round of 16 of the U.S. Open a couple years ago. 7 straight first round losses. So finally on the rebound. Radulescu said, please don't hit me.
Last time Vacek had won in a Grand Slam event, he was all the way to the round of 16.
Soundly beaten by my brother, Patrick McEnroe. Meanwhile, Pete Sampras now on 2 sets to love.
6-3, 6-4.
It'll be interesting to see if Mark Philippoussis can right himself against Vacek, who gets on nice serving streaks himself. But I think Philippoussis and Radulescu right now.
Well, Tony was so right, Mary, though. That between the leg shot at 3-4, talk about a dumb shot.
Right. Well, and I think Radulescu and Philippoussis they're similarly disposed because they both just keep coming at you with heat, which works sometimes, but it's really a failure of imagination. If you've got a big power game, what makes it even more menacing is if you mix it up.
Shot. I remember Yannick Noah one time here at the Open pulling it off, but I mean, how often do you really see that?
You don't see it often, and you don't do it at 3-4 in the tiebreak in the first set. I mean, come on. Sampras picking it up just a little bit, wants to sneak out his break. First game in the third set, now up 15-32. Huge forehands the last couple points. Philippoussis is not at 100%. He's struggling a little bit with the cold. He doesn't need to be out there longer than he has to. Now down 1 set. There's Radulescu.
That's the kind of changeup that he needs to do more of. He's got Sampras behind the baseline, waiting for all the power.
That time he had time to think about what he wanted to do. Sampras didn't hit a hard return. But you're right, Mary. When he's not, doesn't have time to think. He just goes in one gear. Pete was looking for a little bit more of an angle on that backhand. Moved real quickly over, but well done by the German to hang tough here. 40-30, first game of the third set.
First game of that set to Radulescu, down 2 sets. Winning the first game of the third set, but unable to break Sampras' serve to this point of the match. But never really threatened, has he, Mary?
Sampras has only lost 9 points on serve all day.
16.
That's through 2 sets. And that means
that's laughable.
You're making an impression on the returner when you can come up with that.
Just caught the line on that forehand winner. Number 2 string broken today.
It's not always the power of the swing that breaks the string. If you catch the ball at the top of the racket or on the bottom of the frame or whatever, that's what's going to cause so many breakages.
So now you dig in and you say, okay, which one's the third string racket, right? You obviously know which one you want to start out with.
Or does he maybe think, well, maybe I'll go a little bit tighter here. He's got some flexibility, and there you're only talking about 1 or 2 pounds. So even a little bit tighter, he can make the adjustment.
This is like poor Radulescu. He must be feeling. I wonder which gauge shotgun he's looking for here. Look, yeah, he's looking at him like, please, man.
Just watching him.
Not sure what he wears that hat for.
You know, I think it might be time to do the old full reverse rally cap move. Turn it around front ways. The anti-rally cap.
That's a sign of lack of confidence when you wear the rally cap the first point.
You start out, you know you're in trouble.
Yeah, not a good sign. That's about as bad a volley as you'll see Pete Sampras hit there. Just took his eye off the ball, simple as that. Showing that he is human. I don't think he was as far in as he would have liked either. Got a little lazy. I don't think he expected Radulescu to hit that good a return. 2 straight volley errors.
Gonna blame it on the new racket.
I was about to say, you know, it always seems like he picks up another racket, just goes right back to where he said. Thank God he showed that making a couple errors with the new one. Well, we didn't see the scissor kick simply because he's not up a break of serve yet. Played that safe, didn't want to make a mistake. He does that when he's having a little fun, sort of. His little song and dance on the overhead.
Went out for a little song and dance earlier in the week on Broadway. One game apiece now.
Can you see those pinkish-looking skid marks Sampras is leaving with the with those new black and red shoes?
Here we go. Take a look there.
Coming off the serve, the kick.
It's just he drags his feet a little bit, and now they're on both ends of the court. There's these pinkish marks.
I think I've gone colorblind now. I was having trouble picking that up. Those red shoes, new Nikes.
He says that's about as daring and bold a fashion statement as he's willing to make.
I like it.
He says there's not any body piercing yet to come from him. Not only is Pete taking fashion risks now, but as you mentioned, Jim, he's getting himself some culture too. His girlfriend, Kimberly Williams, is on Broadway starting earlier this week in last night of Ballyhoo, and he went to the premiere.
First time he's ever been to Broadway.
Well, he's been playing off-Broadway here so successfully all these years, and he doesn't stay in Manhattan when he plays the Open. He stays out on Long Island to relax.
Better golf courses out there.
I don't know if he's quite at that Lendl stage where he'd play the match and zip out to the golf course. So that's true dedication.
So game to Radulescu, and we're on serve here in the third set. Sampras serving.
Ball!
Oh, yeah.
Pretty nifty little move there. A little pirouette move that doesn't count. Style points, major style points.
Yeah, it
though.
counts for me. I like that Pete is reacting a little bit more to the fans. And, I mean, they're just begging to be let into some of these matches of his. Because he can handle himself so easily by himself. It's nice when he brings everybody in on the fun he must be having these days.
That's the best return Radulescu's ever hit. He's got a nice-looking backhand, Alex Radulescu. Take a look at that previous backhand volley of Pete's. I don't know if we're going to see a lot of it if he drops the next point. He's down love 30 now. That's like a major drop in concentration for Pete. He was so quick to that ball, he's probably going to volley that. 15-10. Destroyed Radulescu with that serve up the middle today.
The entire Open has faced one break point thus far. And he's in his 9th set.
Huge chance for Radulescu at 30 all. Number 2 right here. He's hit 2 tremendous backhand returns. And may possibly, Jim, pay off one. Shows confidence. Sampras been destroying Radulescu up the middle. He's hit 2 great backhands. He still goes after the backhand on the first serve. Alex a little unlucky there. He guessed right, had a shot for the break. Pete had too much pace on that forehand. Say that, Jim.
Oh, it's Klaus Hopsauce.
He is part of the Boris Becker team back in Germany. They train in Munich. A couple of very fine coaches, German coaches, have aligned themselves with this effort to find the new Boris Becker.
They ain't going to find the new Boris Becker.
No, they're going to try to develop. At least they want to keep the Becker buzz going so that young players in Germany will not stop trying to emulate Boris now that he is pretty much out of the game.
There's the scissor.
Yeah, you saw it coming. So he wards off a second break point of the tournament. And it's 2-all. By the way, over on Stadium 3, Tarango has just taken the second set versus
Got that
Draper.
great leaping ability. Makes us white guys proud. I've been practicing that for months on the seniors tour. It's a dying breed, Jim. There's not too many guys that can. Come on. If there ever was a breed.
Tarango and Draper now a set apiece.
That's going to heat up over there before it's finished.
There you go. His 10th ace.
He's played a very solid third set so far.
Third double fault gives Sampras another look at working his way back into this game, finding just the one service break he needs to finish this match.
Should make that just a little louder in case the players don't hear it.
Now you're starting to understand me. It's like rubbing salt in the wounds.
I work one day with you and I start to think like you. If I could just return a serve like you.
Obviously you haven't seen me play recently.
And the game to Radulescu. On serve in the third set. Sampras claiming the first two. We'll continue after this message and a word from your local station. It's been a competitive third set here at Ash Stadium. From you two that Radulescu showing a little life here, some signs of perhaps.
I really like his backhand. He takes the ball nice and early. He's being aggressive now. He's forcing the issue.
John, it almost seems as though Pete, knowing it's his better shot, is trying to break it down.
He's still going after the backhand. Except for that serve up the middle.
15 right on the line for Sampras. Vacek winning that first set tiebreak. They're on serve in the second. One set apiece, Draper and Tarango. And this one's about to be closed out.
Oh! I can't believe, I just can't believe how frightened you are of the name Olga Barabanchikova.
See? Barabanchikova just a game away from advancing.
Very nice. First double fault for Sampras. And you can see that Alex Radulescu is giving himself a little bit of a chance now to get his way back in. He's trying to look alert out there. Nothing you can do about that. 11th ace for Pete. They're tied in that department now. What a pity that Alex Correia wasn't able to play, because he'd been playing well. And that return.
40-30. We talked about how easy the draw broke out for Sampras.
But once again, Radulescu had a real chance for a winner there, but didn't do enough with that inside-out for an easy put away. He's got to take advantage of every microscopic chance he has.
And long in the game to Sampras. 3-all, third set.
Sampras will play, as we've mentioned, Peter Korda, who gave him the toughest match he had at Wimbledon, that 5-setter. Great match tonight. Gustavo Kuerten against Jonas Bjorken, playing some fine tennis. And we just saw 1-set-all, Draper Tarango.
Talk about how well Correia had played so far. I mean, he had a tough draw the first 2 rounds and then had to pull out.
Mark Brosset won the first set against me, rebounded in 4, and Buldan Ulirak. Another beautiful name. Made him work hard before he succumbed in 4 sets. So Krejci on paper had and in reality had an extremely tough draw. Richard Krejci would be no slouch, the Wimbledon champion from 1996, looking to get his form back. He doesn't mess around. He just goes after that ball. That was very well hit backhand, a little bit wide.
Not by much, though. Hi, Radulescu. 40-15.
That ball just dropped in, but Alex Radulescu cannot possibly expect to hit a winner from that position.
I think he's just almost, he's got his hand on his hips as if to say to Pete, boy, you know, you're not giving me much to work with here, are you? Which is true.
But I'm still going to go for a winner. Bad luck for Alex Radulescu there. Total miss-hit return. Awkward looking shot. So here's the miss-hit. Went up higher than Pete expected. He got a little lucky there. Back to deuce. You talk about adding insult to injury. First there's the beat, then he yells out. Great return there. That's the best return Pete's hit. Move forward. Use his own body weight, and Radulescu's speed off the serve, and he's got a break-point chance now. Perfectly done there by Sampras.
Just when it looked like Radulescu was going to surge right through that game, Sampras comes back to take it and break him. Visine MacCam will show you it was wide. What happens when you can slow it down to 1/500th of a second?
Alex Radulescu hit three or four backhands and must have missed by a total of an inch that last game, but going for too much cost him once again. Now Sampras only 5 points from the round of 16.
Didn't work. Sampras pretty strong in that game. Just a game away now from the 4th round. The Fujifilm blimp cruising above Flushing Meadows Corona Park here. You called it the round of 16. They call it, some call it the 4th round. How about Sweet 16? Jazz it up a little bit like they do NCAA tournament.
Okay.
Sweet 16.
That makes you feel better. I mean,
It sounds like it's more of an accomplishment. Fourth round's kind of boring.
That's
Not
the
if
problem
you're-
with
not if you're in it.
men's tennis.
Not if you're in it.
We change it to Sweet
The
16.
little
it'll be all
things,
right.
John. Just the
Thanks for helping us tweak our
small
game. Jim.
details. You know I could help. Invoices in the mail.
Or at least Radulescu is going to make Pete serve it out. Pride at stake now.
When we come back, Sampras will serve for the match.
It's a dangerous way to go. I mean, if you're having a hot streak, I remember a couple of years ago at the Australian Open, Philippoussis took out Sampras because everything clicked.
2 points from the match.
I guarantee you Sampras wasn't serving or moving like this.
No, that's true.
I also think it's, I may be wrong, but I think he's in the best condition he's ever been in.
Triple match point.
This is the male version of the 40-minute match. This is a 3-set match played in 1 hour and 29 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, there's only 2 U.S. men seeded at this year's U.S. Open, which is a 30-year low. But when one of them is this guy, you got a lot of chances that an American will be around next Sunday.
The old workmanlike effort.
If he hurries, he might be able to go back over and see his love interest, Kimberly Williams, in the second act after the intermission on the Broadway matinee.
I mean, he's got to be happy with every part of his game, especially his serve, where in 3 sets he lost just 16 points.
He'll face Peter Korda in the Sweet 16. That'll come Monday, and let's right now send it over to Stadium 2 and to Tim Ryan and Tony Traber.
Thank you, Jim. It's 5-all here now in the second.
Stadium and around the grounds here. We'll be back with more from the U.S. Open in a moment. But first, Jim Nantz tells us about one of the players who made a difference.
CBS Sports presents Players Who Make the Difference, sponsored by Mobile, the energy to make a difference.
Vitas Gerulaitis was a fan favorite at the U.S. Open. He never won a championship here, though he did come close in 1979, losing to John McEnroe in the final. But he did win the hearts of everyone with his warmth and exuberance. In his all-too-short time, Vitas Gerulaitis lived life to its fullest. To all who knew him, he made a difference.